It's that dreaded time of the month where I sit down and rank my palettes, and let me tell you, as the year has progressed, I feel like it's getting even harder and harder because the brands are not resting and they're making amazing palettes. And the spooky holiday fall seasons are my favorite when it comes to eyeshadow palettes. So buckle up, sister, because we've got 14 palettes to rank and it's going to be rough in these streets. If this is your first time on my channel, welcome. My name is Karen Harris. I like to film tan-girl friendly makeup videos here on my channel. Highly recommend subscribing to my channel. It's a free way to support and I do upload quite often, so I would hate for you to miss anything. Without further blabbering, let's get into it. Okay, first of all, if you're wondering where these earrings are from, I will link them down below. I can't decide if they're obnoxious or super cool, but like there's no way I can wear these around my kids because you know these will instantly get ripped off my ears, but they're kind of fun. They're kind of ridiculous, but they're kind of fun. Okay, anyways, I have 14 palettes to rank, so let's quit yapping and let's start ranking. I'm gonna preface this by saying that all of these palettes are excellent, so this was really hard, and I know I say that every single time, and some of you have told me to stop doing these videos, but they're also a fun way for me to like give you guys like final thoughts on things. So in 14th place, we have the Garden Busters palette by Us Cosmetics. Now this is a new brand and this is their first palette, so I am not trying to be a jerk and like rip them a new one, but first of all, I need to know from my subscribers, did any of you buy this palette? And if so, what are your thoughts? Personally, I just feel like it doesn't have a ton of depth to it. Yes, it does have this brown shade, but I feel like brown with these fun colors, it's really hard for me to mix other than with like the orangey earthy tones. I prefer to deepen up colorful shadows with a black instead of a brown. That's just me being really nitpicky. I don't mind the size of the palette, but I will say the different pan shapes does kind of make me a little bit cross-eyed. So it's just not my preference, but I think this is a fun first attempt at a makeup item from this brand. So I'm excited to see where they go from here. I believe this brand is supposed to be kind of like a little bit out there, a little bit kooky themes. So very, very excited to see what their next launch is gonna be. Okay, in 13th place is the I Need a Warm palette from Natasha Denona. Again, another brand I love so much, but Natasha is in her neutral gal era and I get it. I'm not trying to shit on her, but I feel like we could have done a little bit better with the palette that's called I Need a Warm. I feel like this is just I Need a Nudes big boring sister. I feel like I would have named this palette I Need a Lukewarm because it's definitely not warm. I think in my mind I was expecting like a bronze palette, so it's nice. I mean, I think it's like great for what's trendy right now as far as eyeshadow goes, because I feel like so many people are into just throwing a natural looking shade on their eyes and heading out the door. Obviously that's not the only type of makeup I'm into on my channel, as well as just in my everyday life. I like to wear whatever I like to wear. I love wearing colorful looks. I love wearing more kind of neutral shades as well, but I definitely have a preference. I definitely love to wear bold, bright looks, and so, I mean, I guess it's not surprising that this is number 13, but I want to know from you guys, like, did you buy this? What did you think? Because it's definitely not the Natasha I fell in love with. Okay, in 12th place, I'm going to give it to the Ladybug Glow and Gourmand Girls collab palette. They did do another one, but I've only tried this one, and this is Paradise Cove. I'm a sucker for green and blue eyeshadows, so I think this is a cute color story. The formula is really nice as well, so this is in 13th place. Okay, in 11th place, we have another indie brand. This is Artitude Cosmetics, and this is their Metamorph palette. I think this is another cute color story. Like I said, I'm a sucker for green eyeshadows. I also happen to love blue and purple eyeshadows, so this is a really cute color combo. Also, Artitude has really amazing eyeshadows, very pigmented, very easy to work with, so I really, really enjoy this one. I will say I did rank this a little bit low because there is a shade in here, I believe it's Hybrid, that was a mistake shade, and so they did send the correct shade on the side with the palette. I have heard from you guys that it's super easy to replace it, so take this one out and put the right shade in. I honestly just have not had the time to sit down and do that, but I definitely will probably do it just because what am I going to do with one random eyeshadow? So yeah, I've heard it's actually easy to replace it. I just honestly haven't had the time, but this is a really cute color story. Okay, you guys know I love Dee Dee's Signature, and they just did their first collaboration with Makeup on Your Radar, and they did send me the entire set. I just haven't had the time to try every single palette, but I did try the Elegance palette, and again, super cute. It's also greens and blues and a fun multi-chrome shadow, so congratulations to them on the collaboration. I feel like they did such a beautiful job, and I can't wait to try the rest of the palettes. Okay, in 9th place is the Cutie Night Terror palette from Unearthly's Halloween mystery box. So they did a small mystery box with a 9-pan palette, and don't get me wrong, this is super cute. I just feel like the competition is very fierce in August, so I had to rank this a little bit lower. You guys know how much I love Unearthly, so it kind of pains my soul, but also know that there's a lot of great palettes in this video. Okay, in 8th place, I gave it to the Blend Money collab with Donnie Darkowitz, and the reason I rank this at number 8 is because it is a palette that's very similar to a lot of the other palettes Blend Money does. I do love that they collab with a woman of color, and I feel like I've heard from other women of color that this palette just looks really great on people of color, and so I stand by that, and I think it's beautiful. I also love the metallics in this palette. Obviously, I'm not the deepest skin tone, so I don't always have the hardest time pulling off some shades, but I do struggle from time to time, and I think it's really nice that brands are offering many different types of creators opportunities to create products in collaboration with them, and I think they did a fabulous job with this one. Okay, in 7th place is the Gourmandize palette from Gourmand Girls, and I feel like this palette didn't get as much hype because it launched with the other palettes that they did in collaboration with Ladybug Glow, so I feel like it was a little bit confusing because they had 3 palettes launch very close together, which I think is a little tough for consumers too because it is a lot of money. I feel like this is just a different fun color story. It is a pastel palette, but it has a bit of a twist to it, and I think it's so pretty and an approachable way to do pastels. I also thought these shadows were nice and pigmented, and I think they did such a cute job with this palette. Okay, in 6th place we have the Melted and Molten collection from Bella Beauté Bar. Now, usually everything that Bella Beauté Bar touches is gold, in my opinion, but I feel like this could have been one palette, but that's just my preference because I like to have a mix, and I don't know that having these beautiful shadows separate was the best idea. So for that reason, I don't know how many people went out there and purchased. Not that it matters because obviously brands can do whatever they like, but I just feel like they could have condensed the Melted palette and put in the Molten shades and just made one palette. I think it would have just made it a little bit easier for everyone. But I also like the option, like if you're not a shimmer girl or you have all the shimmers you need, you can always just grab the Melted palette, or if you have all the mattes you need, you can just grab the Molten palette, so it's nice to have that option as well. Okay, in 6th place, we have the Barely Basic palette from Glaminatrix. This palette is so beautiful, you guys. I do love it so much. So we have some special shades up top and then these beautiful mattes. So if you're looking for a neutral palette that is super glam, look no further than this palette, because if you're a neutral lover or you love neutrals with a twist, this has you covered. Okay, 5th place is the Gargoyle palette from Unearthly Cosmetics. I just got my order of the liquid lipsticks and the highlighters and the lip glosses, so I want to do something else with this palette and try out all these other products as well. I'm actually wearing one of the liquid lipsticks from this collection as well, but this is such a stunning palette, and you put this next to their other palette, the spring one. Oh my gosh, I'm totally blanky, and it's just like so delicious because we've got these grungy tones and now they have the expanded not normal palette. Like, I'm so here for these bigger palettes that Unearthly is doing. This is definitely like a cool tone dream, Great matte formula, great shimmer formula. All around amazing palette from Unearthly. Okay, in third place, I decided to combine these two palettes from Inslee Rain. So this is a bit of an older collection. Kind of came out at the... Did it come out at the end of August, or am I just talking about it late? I don't know, but this set of shadows is so cute. I couldn't bear to separate them, but look at them together. It's just like glorious. This is our first time doing this format, and I feel like people really loved it. A lot of the palettes they've done in the past are pretty big palettes, and they're also kind of pricey, so it's nice that they did a smaller format. You can grab both of these for $100 bundles, so you do save a little bit instead of paying full price for each of them. But also, if one of them floats your boat, you can just get one. I discovered Inslee Rain last year, and I've just loved everything they've come out with, so I had to give this the third spot. Okay, in second place, Nomad Fuji 5 Lakes. This is such a cute palette. Oh my goodness. Such a fun, unexpected color story. I knew this was going to be a fall palette, but I didn't know what they were going to do as the twist. And I think including a snow-capped mountain is the twist. So as you can see, we have some cool icy shades in here, as well as the beautiful fall leaves. This honestly is some of the prettiest packaging I've ever seen on a palette. It feels like a canvas, but then there's like this beautiful like raised detailing, so there's texture on the cover, and it's absolutely stunning. I love how Nomad just keeps getting better and better. They're aging like fine wine, and I'm so impressed with this palette. Okay, my number one palette of August is the Unity palette from Adep Cosmetics. I just feel like this is such a beautiful fall palette. It's more neutral than it even looks. I feel like it looks very colorful, but when you look at all these beautiful shimmers, it is more neutral tones and like a few pops of color. So if you're intimidated by Adep doing a lot of colorful palettes, you might really like this one. I feel like they did such a good job. I love Adep shimmer shadows, and I feel like I can never get enough. So I'm super, super excited to have this with me, and I just wanted to let you guys know if you like this palette, you should pick it up because it's beautiful. I'm not gonna lie, I also love that they did a matching blush palette because it has some really pretty shades, and I think it's fun when brands do a eyeshadow palette as well as a blush palette. I think it's a fun combo. You guys know I love eyeshadow and blush, so it's really, really perfect for me that they did both of those together as a collection. Okay friends, that is it for my August ranking. Sorry this is a little bit later in the month, but I did the best I could. I've been trying to keep all my balls in the air, but sometimes I do fall short, so I do apologize if it's been a little bit slow here on my channel. I'm so appreciative of you guys watching my videos, so don't forget to enter my monthly giveaway, and I will see you in another video very, very soon. Bye for now.